Argentina are in the World Cup semifinals. The scoreboard says they defeated Switzerland 3-1. But the scoreboard is hiding the real story. Because until the 112th minute, the defending champions were trapped, frustrated, and drifting dangerously close to a penalty shootout. Then came Julian Álvarez. One touch to create the angle. One devastating strike from 25 yards. One goal that rescued Argentina. But long before Alvarez rescued them, another moment had already transformed the match. Breel Embolo fell near midfield. VAR intervened. A second yellow card was shown for simulation. And Switzerland's greatest World Cup run in generations was suddenly reduced to a fight for survival with 10 men. So we have to ask the question now, following Argentina everywhere. Did Argentina survive because champions always find a way? Or did another controversial decision save them from World Cup elimination? And the answer is far more complicated than the final score suggests. Argentina appeared to take control almost immediately. In the 10th minute, Lionel Messi walked across to take a corner. Switzerland knew where the danger usually came from. They prepared for Cristian Romero, Lautaro Martínez, and Julian Álvarez attacking the central area. But Argentina found a different target. Messi delivered a precise, looping ball, and Alexis Mac Allister escaped his marker before glancing a header into the net. Argentina led 1-0. It was Messi's 10th officially recorded World Cup assist, according to the supplied match coverage. But more importantly, it gave Argentina exactly the kind of opening they wanted. They no longer needed to chase the match. They could protect the center, control the rhythm, and wait for Switzerland to become desperate. But Switzerland refused to follow the expected script. Instead of collapsing, they remained organized. Granit Xhaka and Remo Freuler protected the middle, while Dan Ndoye offered speed and direct running whenever Argentina's fullbacks moved forward. The warning signs were there. Argentina had possession, but they were not creating enough clean opportunities. Messi moved between the lines. Mac Allister and Enzo Fernandez rotated through midfield, and Rodrigo de Paul tried to provide balance. Yet Switzerland continued to deny them the center of the penalty area. And then, in the 67th minute, the match changed. Ricardo Rodriguez combined quickly with Ndoye on the flank. Argentina failed to close the space, and Ndoye attacked from a tight angle before producing a superb curled finish beyond Emiliano Martinez. 1-1. Suddenly, the champions were under pressure. Switzerland had not simply survived. They had identified Argentina's defensive weakness and punished it. But 5 minutes later came the incident that will dominate every discussion about this quarterfinal. Breel Embolo went down under pressure from Leandro Paredes near midfield. At first glance, it appeared there may have been contact. Then came the review. The incident was judged to be simulation. Embolo received a second yellow card and was sent off. Switzerland were down to 10 men in the 72nd minute. And this is where the debate becomes unavoidable. Was Embolo looking for the foul? Possibly. Was the fall exaggerated? Perhaps. But was the evidence clear enough to justify a decision that completely changed a World Cup quarterfinal? That is the question Swiss supporters will ask for years. However, another uncomfortable truth followed. Argentina still could not finish the match. Once Switzerland lost Embolo, the tactical geometry changed completely. Before the red card, Switzerland possessed a central outlet. They could clear the ball toward Embolo, push their midfield forward, and force Argentina's defenders to retreat. Without him, that escape route disappeared. Switzerland dropped deeper and formed what frequently resembled a five-man defensive line. Their objective was no longer to control possession. It was to survive, protect the center, force Argentina wide, defend crosses, slow the rhythm, reach penalties, and for approximately 40 minutes, it worked. Argentina finished with 59% possession, 23 shots, and 8 corners. Switzerland had 41% possession, 13 attempts, and only 2 corners. But those numbers require context. Argentina placed only 7 of their 23 shots on target. That means Switzerland succeeded in forcing numerous blocked, rushed, or low-quality efforts. Argentina circulated the ball around the defensive block, but too often they lacked penetration. Messi received the ball in crowded central areas. Enzo and Mac Allister occupied similar spaces. Switzerland willingly conceded possession outside the block because they knew Argentina wanted to combine through the middle. The defending champions had the extra player. They had the ball. They had the territory, but they did not have the solution. And had the match reached penalties, the entire conversation could have changed. Gregor Kobel would have become the central figure. Argentina's inability to defeat 10 players would have become a national crisis. And the Embolo controversy would have become even bigger. Then, in the 112th minute, Alvarez stopped looking for the perfect pass. Julian Alvarez had spent most of the match fighting for space against a compressed Swiss defense. He made runs. He pressed. He attempted to stretch the back line. But Switzerland refused to open the center. So Alvarez changed the question. Instead of asking how Argentina could pass through the block, he asked whether he could simply shoot over it. He collected the ball outside the area, shifted onto the shooting angle, and curled an unstoppable effort from approximately 25 yards. Kobel had resisted for more than 110 minutes. This time, he could do nothing. Argentina led 2-1. It was not merely a beautiful goal. It was a moment of individual rebellion against a tactical problem Argentina had failed to solve collectively. And it may represent something even more important for the future of this team. Messi did not score. His goal-scoring streak ended. But Argentina still found another match winner. Messi remained influential. His corner created the opening goal. His movement occupied defenders. His presence compressed Switzerland's central shape. But he did not produce the final rescue. Alvarez did. That distinction matters because Argentina's greatest fear has always been simple. What happens when Messi cannot save them? Against Switzerland, they discovered an answer. Alexis Mac Allister also delivered a complete performance. He scored the opening goal, helped Argentina circulate possession, and continued working defensively across 120 exhausting minutes. For Switzerland, Dan Ndoye was the attacking revelation. His equalizer was not a fortunate break. It came from intelligent movement, quick combination play, and the courage to attack Argentina's exposed wide channel. Breel Embolo, however, became the tragic central character. Whether supporters believe he simulated or suffered from an excessive decision, his dismissal removed Switzerland's most important counterattacking outlet. And Lautaro Martínez provided the final blow. Entering from the bench, he brought fresh movement, defensive energy, and direct running. In the 121st minute, with Switzerland finally forced to abandon their low block, Argentina countered. Lautaro followed the play and converted the rebound. 3-1, a convincing scoreline created by an unconvincing journey. Argentina's nominal 4-1-3-2 gave Messi freedom to operate behind Alvarez, while Paredes protected the defense and allowed Enzo, DePaul, and Mac Allister to advance. But the formation also produced vulnerabilities. When Molina and Tagliafico pushed forward, Switzerland found space around the outer defensive channels. Ndoye's equalizer exposed exactly what England will now study. Argentina can control the ball, but they can become vulnerable when possession is lost and their midfield cannot shift across quickly enough. England may attempt to exploit that through fast switches, overlapping runs, and Jude Bellingham arriving from midfield. Harry Kane could also drop away from the center backs, drawing a defender with him and opening space for runners moving beyond. The other concern is Argentina's response to a deep defensive block. Against 10-man Switzerland, they became too narrow and too predictable. They circulated possession without consistently changing the speed of the attack. They attempted to find Messi in crowded areas instead of stretching the Swiss block before attacking the gaps. Alvarez's winner solved the problem through brilliance. Argentina cannot assume another 25-yard miracle will arrive against England. Lionel Scaloni now has several major decisions. First, Argentina must improve its defensive protection when the fullbacks advance. Paredes cannot be left responsible for covering the entire width of midfield. One of DePaul, Enzo or Mac Allister may need to hold a deeper position when the attack develops on the opposite side. Second, Argentina must move the ball faster against compact opponents. Possession without acceleration gives defenders time to reset. They need more overlaps, more diagonal runs, and more players attacking the far post. Third, Scaloni must consider the physical cost. Argentina have just played 120 minutes. Mac Allister, Alvarez, Messi, and several others carried an enormous workload. England also required extra time against Norway, but recovery, squad depth, and substitutions could decide the semifinal. Finally, Argentina must reduce the emotional chaos surrounding these matches. Whether the criticism is fair or unfair, every controversial decision now creates suspicion. The only way to silence that argument is to win so convincingly that the referee becomes irrelevant. Against Switzerland, Argentina failed to do that. Argentina are now only 2 victories away from defending their world title. They are attempting to become the first men's national team since Brazil in 1962 to win consecutive World Cups. But this victory created 2 completely different interpretations. The first says Argentina have the mentality of champions. They suffered. They adapted. They survived without a Messi goal. And when the match demanded courage, Alvarez produced something extraordinary. The second interpretation says Argentina were rescued by circumstances. A controversial red card gave them more than 40 minutes against 10 players, and they still required extra time and a moment of individual genius. Both interpretations contain truth. The Embolo decision changed the match, but did not score Argentina's goals. VAR did not deliver Messi's corner. VAR did not guide Mac Allister's header. VAR did not strike the ball from 25 yards in the 112th minute. And VAR did not make Lautaro follow the rebound in stoppage time. Argentina benefited from a massive decision. Then they still had to survive the consequences of their own attacking limitations. That is what makes this story so uncomfortable and so compelling. Now Argentina face England. Messi against Kane. Alvarez against Bellingham. The defending champions against a team carrying decades of historical tension into one of the biggest semifinals imaginable. But England will have watched what Switzerland exposed. The space beside Argentina's defense. The difficulty breaking a compact block. The physical damage of another 120-minute battle. And the growing pressure surrounding every major refereeing decision. So be honest. Did Argentina prove why they are world champions? Or did one controversial decision rescue them from elimination? Because against England, there may be no red card. There may be no extra man advantage. And there may be no second chance.